Okay, take two.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So she'd be too big for the infant carrier. So you would want her in a seat like this, 38 pounds. Is she forward facing or rear facing? Forward facing? Okay, I mean, 38 pounds, I wouldn't turn her back at this point because she only has 2 pounds to go. So at 38 pounds, I would just leave her that way. So that's fine. And then she can stay that way. Most of these car seats can go forward facing until 65 pounds. So that could be 6 years old. There was a question over here. Okay. Yes.
So say that one's to 65 and that one's to 70 pounds, like the car seat. Go to one side where like
This is a car
higher
station.
pounds, if you would go to one side.
Higher weight limit is better if that car seat fits in your vehicle. If your child meets the height limit of that seat, you ended up fixing your budget. So higher weight limits, yes, that's typically better, but not in every situation. So it's not better than the fit in the car. Good question.
You know that you said that if the doesn't come with the car, you don't use it.
Yes.
You know that little thing is like a little fuzzy animal.
Yes.
Well, I happened for myself because when he was born, the things, the straps will always be like buffering, and like he will be having like red, and sometimes like. And like when I didn't, I was like, I'm not gonna buy them yet. And it was like my dad was like, look, it's purple already, like it's getting purple, you have to buy them. And I get the random because like it's rubber and like you know if you have an accident like what if those things like burn.
So if it's on his shoulder, you can take his shirt and just pull his shirt up.
Yeah, he has like
His shirt is between.
yeah it does, but it's still like it gets from like I don't know like how it does it like he has his shirt like up and good on his shoulder, but I don't know how he does it like always gets him like sometimes in his neck. So that's why I put that little fuzzy things on it.
I'm still gonna advise you not to use them, and I know it's hard to see little marks on them, but in a crash, you're better off having little marks than having severe injuries. So I'm gonna recommend that you take them off and not use them because they can cause further injuries in a crash.
Like what can it damage the
They are soft, and that's part of the problem.
so like they're fuzzy and I mean they're
Right.
what can it
They'll
happen?
have buttons, so they buttons, have to go use them together.
Okay, so I have my little fuzzy things on here, and they're nice and soft, and they're really cute and all that. However, this chest clip right here, does anybody know where that's supposed to be?
Right here.
Check armpit level.
Does it say on the, sometimes it says on the.
Sometimes it says that, yeah. So it should be equal to your armpit. Some of these, the fuzzy things are so large that you can't raise it up high enough. So what can happen is if it's not high enough and it's too low, 2 things can happen. In a crash, those harness straps can get moved to the side, baby torpedoes out the top. The other thing that can happen is if this chest clip is too low, this is soft tissue right here. This is hard, there's bones here. If it goes into the soft tissue, that can cause internal organ damage. So we want it up here where it's nice and strong. It's gonna go into the chest, and that's better than going into soft tissue.
What's that called? The buckle strap or the?
The chest clip.
Chest clip.
Oh, you put it up here, okay, this is my order, so we'll be like down low, but.
Armpit level.
What if it is at armpit level and you put them on after you got everything is safe?
Okay, the other
You
thing.
have like the thin ones that will go, I have some, it's like the same, so. We got it by the nurse when we got in the hospital, so we just had something to help us do everything.
Okay.
And after she put it like that, I was like, okay, well, I really don't want her. Like, I didn't like to get bigger surgery to come in, so that's where she left it, and then I added a more.
Okay.
Just because, yeah, I did that red mark.
And sometimes they do. Some of them are very, very narrow, and if you have a baby with a wider neck, it can be. And nurses, as amazing as they are, and as super helpful as they are not trained for C-section. So they really are trained to help you know. The other reason it's not safe is because it's so soft, it's gonna move on your baby's clothing. Whereas these harness straps are a little bit more friction. And it's meant to grab onto the baby's clothing so the baby doesn't move. If you have the fuzzy straps, the baby's clothing can move, which means the baby can move, which is adding additional collisions. Yes.
So the straps then have to be tight?
They should not wear
Tight in the car seat, but my friend is using the booster seat.
for the seatbelt.
Yeah.
Okay, that's different, and I'll get into that. I'm gonna get into booster seats. So that's why you don't want the harness straps. So if you just pull their shirt up, your shirt between, then that's okay. Okay,
If you do it like that, you do.
so after the convertible, the next thing after the convertible is a combination seat. The reason it's called a combination is because it can be 5.5. This can also be a booster seat. So the combination seats are never going to be rear facing, they're only forward facing. So this particular seat is the hardest straps up to 65 pounds. Once they outgrow the 65 pounds, you take off the harness straps. And this grows to become a booster seat.
Is that like a 5-in-1?
Yes. Yeah.
You never have to buy a car seat, yes.
So you can use this as a booster seat after they outgrow the harness. The harness straps typically go up to 65 pounds. I've seen some as high as 80. Yes. This age would be after they outgrow, so after 40 pounds, after they outgrow rear facing. You could then put them in one of these. Because they have the harness straps up to 65. So anything after 40 pounds.
You're able to take those off, right?
Yes, we'll take these off and then use it as a booster seat. Okay. When you have them in the booster seat setting, you want to teach your children that once they get out of the car, they need to buckle the seat back in. Because remember I said everything goes toward the points of impact. Now booster seats are not secured, most of them are not secured in the vehicle. What secures in the vehicle is the weight of the child with the seatbelt. When the child gets out, they're just sitting on the seat. So teach your children when they get out to buckle it in. That way it doesn't go flying in a crash and hit you as the driver and cause injuries to you. And then you want to keep them in the 5-foot harness as long as possible. So that's the combination. Now booster seats, which I don't have just a regular booster seat.
How is those safe?
How are they safe?
Yeah.
They're not nearly as safe as this, I'll tell you that. What's keeping them safe is the seatbelt. So what it's doing is the seatbelt is made for a 5'9", 175-pound man. So if you are a 5'9", 175-pound man, you are good in the seatbelt. The rest of us kind of hope for the best. So if you have a small child, they're nowhere near that. So the seatbelt's gonna go right across their mouth. What the booster seat does is it raises them up so that they can fit into the seatbelt appropriately. Now this booster seats, you're gonna have some, there's some that have a back, it's called a high back booster. And then there's some that we find that don't have a back. There's a little square with armrests, and that's all they are. I recommend keeping them in the high back as long as you can. There's much more support, especially if they still fall asleep in the car. Whereas the backless ones don't have much support.
What about the, you know how to walk on this, those ones, but, you know, it's not like that. Is that okay for,
If they sell it in the stores in the US, it is safe and legal. There's some you can get online that are not safe for the US, but you can get it at Walmart, it is a safe seat. And it has passed all kinds of crash tests and things like that. So
for example, like my husband, he uses something like that. It's a booster seat, but it's the whole thing complete.
okay.
But it has the little, where the belt goes, it has it. And when he falls asleep, there's something you like is nice and simple, so I got him the pillows, little donut.
Okay.
Especially like so when they fall asleep.
Did it come out of the box with your car seat? No good. And that's why you want to keep him in a high back booster to get sun protection when he falls asleep.
Yeah, so the car seat has that.
Right. So at that age, they do have head and neck control. Meaning if he falls asleep and he can't breathe, he's gonna wake up.
Yeah.
And he's gonna lift his head and he's gonna gasp for air and he's gonna be fine. So if he hangs his head down, what will wake him up is either not breathing or great discomfort. And he'll wake up. So there's not much you can do, but you don't use those pillows because it can interfere with the way the seatbelt is gonna work in a crash. So those pillows are negative. Let's see. With booster seats, you cannot use a lap belt only. So if your vehicle in the middle seating position only has the lap belt, meaning it doesn't have the shoulder strap, you cannot use that with a booster seat. You have to have a shoulder strap with a booster seat. So that child would not be able to sit in the middle, they will have to sit on one of the window seats. So they need that shoulder strap. Okay, so when can you take him out of the booster seat? So the law in California is your child must be properly restrained in the back seat until they are 8 years old or 4'9". So when they reach 8 years old, if you have a teeny tiny 8-year-old and that seatbelt goes across their neck, it is very dangerous to take them out of that car seat. So how can you tell a regular chair that I could demonstrate?
A regular chair?
It's a regular, I'll turn it sideways. Okay, so the way you want to tell if your child can get out of a booster seat is if they can sit in the vehicle with their bottom all the way in the back of the seat, their knees bent comfortably over the edge of the seat, their feet must be flat on the ground, the seat belt must go across their shoulders, not across their neck, and they must be able to maintain this position the entire car ride, whether it's 5 minutes or 5 hours. So if your child slouches like this, put them in a booster seat. If they fall asleep against the window or the seat belt, put them in a booster seat. If they put down the armrest and lean like that, put them in a booster seat. I have a 12-year-old, and I keep threatening him, if I can find a booster seat that will fit him up, I will put him in it. Luckily for him, I can't find one. So if they pass all 5 of those, then they're ready to get out of the booster seat. Yes.
My friend has a car and it has like one, you can pull it down into the car seat, I guess. But it has like straps on it.
So it's a car seat built into the car?
Yeah.
How's the car? They have those there, so.
He got it last year.
In your car?
But it's the car is like really nice and like there's booster seat like inside of it. It's not like an actual car seat, but it's like the patty that you sit on like this, it comes off and then you can boost it up. Boost it up and then on the side of here it has like the belt that's like that.
Is it in the 3rd row seat facing backwards?
No, it's in the middle. It's in the middle of the car. It has it in the front, all of the front, on the 2 sides.
That one, like wherever it is, it's very, very fast.
No, they have it in the front.
If it comes with the vehicle, then I would say read the vehicle manual. It comes with the vehicle, and that will have your head weight limit, that will have read the vehicle manual, and that will tell you what to do.
Yeah, it has it all in the whole front.
Okay, I'm gonna look that one up. Okay, so is this the proper height? So this 8 years old or 4'9", and that's the law. The 5-step test is bottom all the way in the back.
Okay.
Knees comfortably over the edge, feet on the ground, no slouching, and then the seat goes across the shoulder, not across the neck. Okay, so when can you take them out of the booster seat and put in the front seat?
So you're definitely the law.
Aren't they the time for 5 steps?
Okay, by law, they can go in the front seat at 8 years old. I would never put an 8-year-old in in the front seat, never.
That was 14.
That's,
Well, 13, whatever it says on the.
that's the recommendation. So our recommendation is 13 years old. I have a 15-year-old son, and he was not on the front seat until he was 14 years old. He was 6 feet tall at 14 years old, and I did not care. He was in the back seat until he was 14. My youngest son will not be in the front seat until he is 16. You are twice as safe in the back seat as you are in the front seat. So even though the law says 8 years old, I would not put an 8-year-old. When I drive carpool for my kids' field trips, there's nobody in the front seat or kids in the back seat. They're much safer.
Is that true for anybody?
It's true for everybody, even adults. So anybody's safer in the back.
So the heavier you are, the safer you are in the park? Oh. That's what she said. She said that a man at what?
Okay, so seatbelts are engineered for a 5'9", 175-pound man. So
Yeah, anything below that, you're like,
or anybody above
at
that.
your own risk.
Anybody above that. So my son's 6'5". That seatbelt goes way low. It should be higher on him because he's much higher than 5'9".
Jill, I think it's not, because the heavier you are too, right, like the more velocity you're carrying. So if you're not necessarily safer the heavier you are.
So the safest person in the car is the one who didn't get in the car. Cars are dangerous. We are putting
To ride the
ourselves
bus?
in
That's
our
why I ride the bus. No, the bus is even more dangerous, just you have to go.
Well, we did have a question about that when we were coming in.
Just ride
Why do they not require, as long as it goes right by bus? Why don't they require, you don't have to answer now, but why don't they require them to do something with the child?
It has to do with the weight of the bus. So the shorter school buses do have to have seatbelts. The longer school buses don't have
No,
to.
city buses.
But city buses, they don't have to, and it has to do with the weight of the vehicle. Their theory, not necessarily true, but their theory is it's big, and when it hits something, it's gonna do more damage to them than it is to the bus. But they are very unsafe, especially if you're standing. If you're standing and holding on to the thing, you're gonna go flying. Every single thing in your vehicle that is not strapped down is going towards the point of impact. Every toy, every cell phone, every water bottle, every box of tissues, everything is going towards the point of impact. So if people are strapped in, they are going towards the point of impact. So buses, yes, they're not the safest way to travel. However, they also don't go the speed you go. They don't go at 80 miles per hour on the freeway. They're stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. So they're not at such high speed, and most people train to their Creole buses. So they're not in crashes very often. Would they be safer with seatbelts? Yes, but can you imagine every person getting on and getting on having to strap in a seatbelt? But that would be a tough one for them to enforce. Okay, so when you move them up, when you move them from that seat to rear facing, to forward facing, to a booster, to no booster in the back seat, to front seat, how do you know to move up? Yes.
According to the weight limit of each person.
Yes, exactly. So as they outgrow, so when they hit the 40 pounds, you can turn them forward facing. When they hit the weight limit of the forward facing harness, you can put them in a booster. When they meet the 5-step test on the booster, you can put them in the back seat without a booster. And then 13, 14, 15 years old in the front seat. Yes.
Baby car seat, I've used it without the base.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that.
And I put the strap on top of the, like on this, I put it in there, but I make sure that the belt, like, the cards get locked, yeah, and then I just tighten it as much as I can.
Right. So if you look underneath here, there is right here this little groove. Right here. And there's one on the other side. So what you're going to do is you're going to harness your child in. You're going to put this in the vehicle, make sure it's at the proper angle. Okay, and then you're going to take your seatbelt, thread it through here, across the child's lap, through here, buckle it in, tighten it up as tightly as you can, and lock the seatbelt.
How do you lock the
Thank you so much.
Pull it all the way down, and then when you get it, when it goes back up, you're going to click, 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 And then you try to make sure it's a proper angle. And
There's no relation.
Yes.
Mine have like a little.
But no, is it fine?
Homie, the zero versus partial credit is better than no credit.
Sometimes I'll put it like that as well. And then in the back of the car, like in the back of the car, you stick your hand in, and you have this hook, and you grab that hook, and you stick it in. Yeah. Mine have that.
Okay, so what that is.
Mine have to be like that part and then that part.
Okay. So that's the next thing I'm talking about is lower anchors.
So if I'm without moving space.
Without the base? If it's installed properly, yes. Okay. Lower anchors. So what lower anchors are, is if you look at your seat back and your seat bottom meets, you put your hand in there, there should be little hooks to hook your car seat.
Yeah.
This is for vehicles that are made in 2002 or newer. What that is you take this right here. And you clip it in. And there's one on each side, you clip them in, and then you tighten them. And you want it just as tight as if you had a seatbelt. That's the lower anchors. That also comes with a color top tether, which is this here. So here in the US, we do not use the top tether for rear facing. We only use it for forward facing. So, how many of you think that installing your car seat with a seatbelt is safer than lower anchors? No. How many of you think the lower anchors is safer than the seatbelt? Okay, they're exactly the same. One is not safer than the other, but you only use one. You don't want to use both because they work differently and they work against each other. So you can use the lower anchors or the seatbelt. Is that what you call it?
So it's either or?
Either or. The lower anchors. And then the top tether, you use that forward facing, no matter how you install the car seat, you always use the top tether. And what that does is, if this is nice and snug, as your car seat's going forward, it prevents it from being thrown forward. Yes?
When we were stopped by the cops, I was ankle lately, and he still made us put the belt. And he said because regardless, the cops are gonna stop us, they're there to see the belts.
Okay, you can't use both. And I will tell you, most police officers, not all, they know the law regarding car seats, they don't know about installation and all the specifics. So a lot of them.
Yeah.
He was gonna give us a ticket because of that, and I was like, what?
That's right, you carry your manual and highlight that part, right?
Yeah, it says in there, do not use both the car seat, both lower anchors and the seat belt. So, I mean, they can't really tell you how to install your car seat as long as it's installed properly.
Wait, the lower anchor is that thing, right?
This right here. And they put it into your seat. But, I mean, either way is safe. So if you had them with the lower anchors, as long as it was in tight, then you were fine. So if they had given you a ticket, you probably, okay, because if they had, you probably.
So can there be 3 car seats in the back of the car?
If they can all fit in the back seat of the car without having to wedge them in there. So each seat has to be able to move independently. It's very hard to get 3 in the back seat.
Yeah.
My sister's got 3 kids, and I had to put 3 in her back seat, and then we get a new seat that was more narrow, because all the seats would fit.
Yeah.
It's tough, there's very few cars and very few seats that you can fit 3 in. Okay. Expiration date.
Oh, I'm just had a question about the bus again. Which way is safer, the side, like when, because a lot of them sit with their babies,
Okay.
you know? Is it, you know, the seats that sit sideways or the ones that face forward? Which one is safer?
I would say forward, because most crashes are front crashes, and your body is more able to be braced this way versus this way. So I think for your spine, it would be safer to go this way than sideways. So I would say sit forward facing or rear facing. Rear facing, you can sit rear facing, go for it.
Is it on the trolley?
I think by the bowl, or I hit it.
Yeah, so I would say the best seat would be like the forward facing seat where there's a seat in front of you. because that's gonna help stop you versus one that has a large opening in front of you where you will go flying.
We have a lady and like when you go forward, you know how there's a hole in the seat?
Mhm.
And then you-
If you have any sort of carrier, like an Ergo, a Mobi, I would wear the baby on the bus. Because then the baby is secure. And then sit with a seat in front of you. That's not very
So you know, like, cause on the bus they have, designated spots for strollers and cars and stuff. So you're saying that it's not safe to sit there? Like with the.
Because those are usually the sideways sitting ones, right?
No, it's the one.
No, it's.
But
there's like a big space.
in front of you.
That much space for like the stroller, and you have a baby out and carry, like, what is.
I would buy a sit with something in front of me, because if there's nothing in front of you, I was on a field trip with my son, and we were sitting in the front seat, and there was nothing between us and like this 8 feet windshield. And I was horrified the entire time, I was like, this bus suddenly stops, we're going flying through that window. You're much safer behind another seat, because the farthest you can fly is the distance between you and that seat. Whereas if there's nothing in front of you, you're gonna fly until either your momentum gets stopped or something stops you, which could be 10 feet. And that's when it has a whole lot of interest. So I would say with the seat in front of you. Expiration dates. All car seats have an expiration date. Why? Because they are made mostly of plastic. A car can reach 120 degrees in the summer. So that plastic can break down over time. Also, these here, I keep these ones on here because I don't know if the child in the seat, they're all crunchy and gross and can't be screened anymore, but these can break down over time also. So pay attention to your car seat expiration date. Most seats are 6 years. That's from the date of manufacture. Your date of manufacture.
Even if you have no metal box, you're like,
Yes. Your date of manufacture will be on a sticker that looks